Mystic Dan, he's back on the beam. He's in good form. He has he's actually gotten back to his Beyer speed figures from last year, believe it or not, and now he's going to try the turf for the first time in his career. And I'm interested to see the weather because we know that Mystic Dan loves an exact good racetrack there, talking about the dirt. But I'd be curious to know if he could get a good turf course. Looks like there's a chance on Friday for them to be some rain, so the horses always like some give. And ironically, Dubs, he gets the rail. I don't know if any horse in America loves the rail more than Mystic Dan.
The best version of the star, 4-year-old colt, we saw in the Blame Stakes. This was one after that, the Stephen Foster. Didn't quite have it late in this one, but what I took away from the Blame Stakes, Caleb, is that Mystic Dan can still show up and on the day give us an absolute prime performance with the best in the sport.
And he only got beat a length and a tail to Sierra Leone, who we saw what he did over the weekend. So, that's good quality. He still had the lead over Sierra Leone with the 16th pole mid-stretch. So the horse is really going well. But it's a huge question. Integration's an interesting horse because Integration was second in this race last year. He's always felt like a grade 2 or maybe grade 3 horse. Integration's been in a lot of grade 1s without a ton of success, but let's see if this horse can get that elusive grade 1 victory as the favorite on Saturday.
This is in the grade 1 Manhattan Stakes over there at Saratoga. Comes in for a very game runner-up to Deterministic there. You can see the 5 up top surging towards the line, but a lot of promise from Integration there. Gets Johnny Velasquez in the irons. In terms of being a course specialist, 3 for 4, 3 wins from 4 starts out there at Colonial, which we'll get back to on Saturday.
And both the replays we showed, Mystic Dan versus Sierra Leone, obviously he ran giant over the weekend, and then Integration versus Deterministic, he also ran a giant grade 1 winning effort over the weekend. So those 2 replays we showed you are holding very strong grade 1 form. And again, for Integration, he's won the grade 2 Red Smith. He won a small stakes at Colonial. He's won the grade 2 Hill Prince. This could be a defining race for any horse that wins. But for Integration, who they've always thought of as a grade 1 horse, can he become a grade 1 winner this weekend?
The 2 bookends could be the big threats there. Mystic Dan, last year's Kentucky Derby champ from the inside. Integration, the 8 from out wide with Johnny V. What about middle of the pack here in Cairo? The 5 sitting at 7-2, gets star pilot Benny Curtis, one of the underrated jockeys in the game. And we take it back to the Queen Anne Stakes over there at Royal Ascot.
And he ran 3rd here at 100-1. This was a race where Docklands pulled the upset. You had Rosalian in there, who's a really talented horse. This is the premier race at Royal Ascot. And to be right there, a length plus off, this horse has faced Nation's Pride in Europe, was a Breeders' Cup turf favorite. This horse has faced Measure Time, who was basically the best Euro that came over last summer to Saratoga. This horse has faced Karen, who was the best miler 2 years ago. This horse has faced the best of the best milers and has not been too far behind.
Cairo could be live with Curtis aboard for the ride there. That is the 5. And we are talking about the Grade 1 Arlington Million Stakes coming up this Saturday afternoon out of Colonial Downs. Goes off as race number 11 at 5:54 Eastern. And if you're a fan of the sport, it's a great time to jump into play. The No Sweat WinBet Summer Series continues to heat up this weekend out of Colonial Downs with the Arlington Million. Jump into play via the FanDuel Racing app. We'll be out there live on the grounds to take